Hey, what's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Glad to be back in it. Um, like I said, happy Sunday. I'm excited for this upcoming week, opportunities, and all of that good stuff. And we're gonna get to it in a few minutes. If you guys have any pairs that you guys want to put in the chat, please do it. And I'll make sure we get to those first. All right. Oh yeah, I'm excited about this week. Well, I'm excited about every week when we always starting it. Kind of make me feel like we got a fresh start, brand new start, regardless of if it was a winning week, if it was a losing week. We kind of always get a do-over to look at the market, analyze it for what it is, how it stopped, and objectively kind of, use our analysis, to make the best possible predictions that we can, and hopefully capitalize off of that within the market. We're gonna probably get started in another couple minutes. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited. Hey, how many of you guys watched the fight last night? I don't know if there's any boxing fans on here, but I'm a huge boxing fan, and so last night was a great night. We had a really, really good boxing match last night. I was excited. Got a chance to let loose and watch the fight and with a couple of friends, and it was actually pretty cool. But yeah, hey, and you guys, if you guys are in, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're the first time on our channel, please subscribe so you can get notifications whenever we start. But like I said, if y'all have any pairs that y'all want to see marked up, please put them in the chat, and I'll make sure we get to those first before we kind of get to our regulars and things like that. And then, like we always do, we always start off with our news to make sure that we can see everything that's going on. So yeah, like I said, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Oh yeah, Rome, man, that fight was on point, man. That fight was on point. A lot of people thought Ryan was gonna get at him, but Tank, he showed his boxing IQ, man, and he did what he had to do. That mug was on point. All right, y'all. So, hey, let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all know how we do. We always start off with a word of prayer. Dear Lord, I want to thank you, God. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank you for allowing us to come to you again. And Lord, I want to thank everybody who's under the sound of my voice. Lord, I pray that anybody who's affiliated with this channel or this YouTube channel can be blessed. Lord, I pray that the content that's in this channel continue to add value and can possibly help somebody become financially free. If they have dreams and goals to pass prop challenges or whatever the case may be, I pray that this channel can be a helping hand to help them reach their goals. Lord, we love you, we honor you, and we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, man, let's get into it. Like I said, I'm always excited to get into the charts. Once again, if there's any pairs that y'all like to see marked up, put them in the chat, and I'll make sure we get to them. All right, y'all, so let's start off with our analysis. So as you guys can see on Sunday, let me actually make this a little bit bigger. All right, so on Sunday, you guys can see that we pretty much ain't got nothing popping off. And for me personally, I usually don't do trading on Sundays or Mondays unless it's something that's absolutely out of the norm and the setup is actually really, really good. But for me, I really don't trade on Sundays or Mondays. So we can see Sunday, nothing really going on. Monday, we got Euro during the London session, German info, business climate. Going into Tuesday, we got USD news at 9 a.m. Central. And we also have some AUD news at 8:30. We got CPI on AUD. So for those who trade AUD or gold, just be mindful because around that time, we're going to have some news that's going to pop up. Gold is impacted from AUD news as well because Australia is a heavy importer of gold. Okay. Going into Wednesday, we got USD news, 7:30 Central. Thursday, we have USD news as well. We got advanced GDP, unemployment claims. At 9 a.m. we have some USD news as well, but it seems the bulk of the USD news will pop off around 7:30 on that particular on this Thursday. Okay. On that Thursday night, we got JPY pair. So for those, I know we have a few people that trade GJ and NJ and things like that. So just be mindful on Thursday, you're going to see a lot of movement with the Japanese yen. Okay. Be mindful of that. Going into Friday, we got Euro news all day. We also have some tentative JPY news, so we might get some more movement on Friday. Going into the London session, we have Euro and Chef news into the London session, and then ending it off, we got CAD and USD pair 7:30 in the morning. And we also have a little bit of USD news on 8:45 and 9. And this is unusual. On a Saturday, we have the Chinese yuan is going to be popping off on Saturday. But however, the markets are closed, so I'm not really going to worry about that. So like I said, just be mindful of the days and the times in which news is going to impact those pairs that you guys are trading. And so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Again, if you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up, put them in the chat and we'll make sure we get to them. All right, so first we're going to go ahead and start off with EU. And so with EU, as we can see from a daily perspective, we can see that, you know, EU is pretty much bullish right now. You know, as you guys can see, we're staircasing up. The price gave us a pullback, and it actually tapped into this this daily demand here. Okay, so we're just going to utilize whatever the market is giving us, and we can see that price is kind of trickling up in this area here. And also on the daily, we can see we have a tweezer top in this area here, kind of came down, gave us a retracement. Okay, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see really good market structure. We can see price pretty much giving us this bullish momentum, came down, tapped into this level of demand here, and we also have a smaller demand in this area here. I'm gonna go ahead and make the screen a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and do that. That way we're working with a little bit more real estate. Okay. All right. So in this area here, you guys can see on EU, we have a 4-hour demand here. I'm utilizing this entire candle right here for my demand zone, and we can see price came down, tapped into this area here. Okay. So looking at this action right here, this is probably a break of structure on another smaller time frame. As you can see, we have a bullish, bearish, bullish. Price came down, some type of news came in, tapped into this level, broke down in this area here before it actually shut off. Okay, so if we drop down to the 1 hour, let's look at price a little bit more on this particular time frame. And so we can see in this area from a 1 hour perspective, price came down, started giving us lower lows and lower highs, and we haven't had anything to take out this lower high in this area here. Okay, on a 1 hour perspective. All right, so if we add this here, we're still waiting for our 1 hour break of structure in this area here. Okay, so let's drop it down to the 15-minute. And on the 15-minute time frame, let's see, we have the same thing. Okay, we have the same thing holds true. So if we look at this area here, this is not a, you know, some might say we got a lower high, lower low breakdown here. This is a break of structure, not necessarily, because when we look at that, this is our lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This point here didn't break this point. So this here is just, you know, complex pullbacks and things like that. So actually we're looking at this point here as our next lower low. Okay, so this is our high point here, which correlates with our 1 hour break of structure. So we're looking for price to possibly break this area, give us a retest, and then we can probably catch it to the upside, because we can see right now that we're in bullish momentum. So we want to kind of wait for price to break this area. And we can see on a 4-hour time frame, the market ended with a bullish, bearish, bullish pattern. And so for those who know, this is one of my favorite patterns to actually trade. I'll do an H4 here, but I'll notate exactly what this is here. This is a 4-hour bullish, bearish, bullish. Okay. So this is one of my favorite patterns to trade. So one of the things that I'll be looking for this particular pair is for price to come up, give us a break of structure, possibly come back into this level of demand, and then continue to the upside all the way up, possibly taking out this high here, or even so coming up to this supply zone in this area right here. Okay. So that's one of the things that we're looking for. I definitely want to be patient with this. Let's drop to a 15-minute just to look at, well, 5-minute. Yeah, we're not gonna take anything premature. So that's pretty much the move that I'm looking for. We're gonna go ahead and set an alert on this move here. EU H1 BOS. Okay, and we're gonna make sure that this is in our this comes through our Discord chat as well. That way everybody has the alerts. Okay. So there we go. So right now for EU, that's what we're looking at. So to recap on this particular pair, we're bullish overall on EU. So I want to see a break of structure from this 1-hour retest and possibly come up to this supply zone here, or possibly take out these highs in this area. Okay. Ish, what's going on, my man? What's going on? Glad you can join us today, man. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. And like I said, always, if you guys have any pairs you want me to see, you want me to mark up, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll mark them up. All right, you guys, let's look at USD CAD. All right. So looking at USD CAD from an hourly perspective, any specific price action you look for at a supply zone during a bullish trend? Not necessarily. I just kind of take whatever the market gives me. So in that case, so let's go back to EU, for example. So let's just say, if we were looking to take a trade on this particular pair here, and let's just say we end up catching it here. Okay, let's say stop loss was under this area here. So instead of me actually taking it all the way up to the highs, for me personally, I would actually stop it right here at this demand zone. At the supply zone here, because price can react off of this, come back down, and then probably have some noise before it kind of continues up. Okay, being that 4-hour time frame is a higher time frame, we just want to be mindful of that, and we don't want to give back a lot of profits. Now, if you do ride it up in this area here, one thing I would be mindful of, if you notice that you have a lot of action in this area here, this would be a good area to actually take partial profits. So what you could do when price get up to this area, take partial profits, move your stop loss to break even, and then you can say, okay, I'll leave it here, and then let price kind of do whatever it wants to do and things like that. But if I have a supply zone, like I said, in this area here, I would definitely look for this to be a level of take profit, just because it can definitely react off of this. Ultimately, I am looking forward to take out the highs because we're bullish, but we don't want to be naive just to think that it would just blast through this supply zone. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, let's go ahead and look at USD CAD. So if we're looking at USD CAD, we have a couple marks that's been on here since last week. One of the things that we can see, it's really choppy on the daily, but let's go ahead and start from our higher point and actually mark up what we see. So right now, from a daily perspective, this is our highest point right here. Okay. Then if we come down to this area, let's look at this. The alerted EU, it's it's at 1.09997. EU alert for H1 BOS. That's it right there. Let me see this one here. This was an old one, so I'm gonna actually remove that. That was an old alert, so I'm not gonna really worry about that. Okay. That alert right there, that's for EU 1 hour BOS. That other alert that I had on there, I took that off. That was something that I was looking at last week. And so I just went on to remove that. All right, so let's go ahead and look at USD CAD. So let me see, where were we? So looking at the highest point, and if we come here, let's see, let's take a look at this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we can bring this down here, just pretty much just looking at our daily structure, just to get an idea exactly where we are within the market, okay? And we can say this is the next one here, and our other one in this area right here. All right, so we can see with this one, we had a break of structure on the daily right here, okay? Daily BOS in this area here. And so at this point, we can see we had a supply zone in this area right here. Make this a little bigger. We have a daily supply right here. Move this all the way over. All right, and we can see that price actually broke through this daily supply here. But at any rate, this is the highest point in our daily structure. I mean, in our daily, pullback situation. So anything within this area is fair game. So if we took a fib from the bottom to the top, our golden zone is anywhere within this area here. Okay. So I'm actually going to remove this daily demand because that's already mitigated. And I'll actually take off the fib as well. So we're actually in this area. So let's go ahead and drop down to the 4 hour time frame and look and see what we have. So first thing I want to do is look in this area to see if we have anything of significance. And so one of the things that I can see right off the bat is we have an imbalance right here that hasn't been mitigated yet, all the way up in this area. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, that's an imbalance in that area right there. And additionally, let's drop to the 1 hour 4 minute because I want to see if there's anything else above that area that we can look at possibly. So we do have a supply zone right here as well. It's really, really small, but we want to look at it because it's something of significance that we want to look at because price can possibly turn around on these points, okay? This is a 1 hour supply. And then we're also going to look at this again. Let me go ahead and do a bar replay in this area. That way we can make it a little bit bigger. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. All right, so on the 15-minute time frame, we have a couple of things. We have a imbalance, and no, that's already mitigated. I'm sorry. No, we're not going to look at that one. It's already mitigated. So we can look at this one here. We have a 15-minute supply in this area right here. All right, so that's what we're looking at right now. So let's go to current price and see where we're at. So right now, price came up to this area, and if we're on the 4 hour, we can see that it didn't quite make it all the way up to that area. And so price, we can see it started making, you know, higher highs, higher lows, things like that. I'm sorry. Let me look at that again. Price started making higher highs. Okay. In that area there. And then we actually started, you know, we got a 4-hour break of structure. All right. So one of the things that I want to see is a pullback. And as you guys can see right up in this area, we have a perfectly placed order block or supply zone, either one. Both of them are valid. No, this is a supply. We have a 4-hour supply that's sitting here, just ready to be mitigated, you know? So we got it sitting in this area here. So I want to see price come back and tap into this area here. I'm gonna actually move this golden zone over a little bit for the simple fact that a lot of this in this area has been mitigated. And so right now we're working with the 4-hour. I'm gonna move this over a little bit more. Right now we're working with the 4-hour pullback. So now we can use the fibs from this area here all the way down to this area right here, okay? And so for our 4-hour golden zone, it's anything in this area right here that we want to see price pull back to, okay? H4 premium zone. All right, so we want to see price come back into this area. And so a couple point of interests that I'm looking for, of course, is this 4-hour here. And I can also see another 4-hour supply right here. Okay. So those are 2 point of interests that I'm actually looking for. And so for me, I'm gonna actually set an alert right here at our golden zone. I'm gonna say USD CAD taps into golden zone. H4 golden zone, that's what we'll say. H4 golden zone. Okay, that way we know when price actually gets up to this point. It's not too far from it right now, and so we still want to be patient and see exactly what it's going to do. That's what I actually can see on USD CAD. We are kind of sort of still in bearish momentum, because if you guys look at it, you know, right now, even though it broke structure, we can see that price is still in downward momentum, and we haven't broke this area yet here, because if we look at it right now, we have wicks above that area. If we look at it from the body perspective, we have these wicks. However, it never broke this area as far as a body closure. Okay, so that's what we look for. We want to make sure that we're looking at body closures as opposed to just wicks breaking through, because that's just liquidity just taking out, you know, price and all of that kind of thing. All right. All right, so that's pretty much what we're looking like on USD CAD. My ultimate bias on this is for price to come up to possibly this H4 or this one here, and then possibly come to the downside. Let's drop it to a smaller time frame just to see if we can maybe capitalize off of something a little bit smaller as well, as opposed to waiting for price to get all the way up there. And so right now, if we're looking at the 15-minute time frame, first thing we want to do is mark the highest point to see exactly where we are within market structure. So we can look at this point here as our 15-minute, because right now we're on a 15-minute time frame. Okay. Because what we can possibly do is capitalize off of this and ride price all the way to the upside. Okay. So this is our highest point here. We can come here This is our current lowest point. Well, not lowest, but the point in which price came down here and then gave us that impulse to the upside, okay? We can also look at this point here. Move this down to this area right here. Okay, so as far as a 15-minute structure, this is what we're looking at. These are our last 4 points. And so we're playing within this area right here. So one of the things we can possibly wait for is for price to possibly break this 15-minute and continue to the upside and give us another pullback. Or if it breaks structure down here and continue to the downside, but we just want to be patient. Okay, so what we can do is we can set an alert here in case it breaks this 15-minute structure to allow us to see, okay, price broke the 15-minute high. Let's see if we can possibly ride it up to the upside. Before I do that though, let's look at this and see how far this is before we even consider doing that. So if it broke this 15-minute area, that's about 68 pips or so. So because it's not really over 100 pips, I'll probably be patient on this and let's let the market actually just play out. Okay, so we'll actually let it play out and let it play into our higher time frame structure. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to GU. All right, so with GU, we're bullish right now. GU pretty much looking similar to EU. As we can see from a daily perspective, we have really good market structure. As we can see, price is pretty much giving us that bullish momentum. And so right off the bat, we can see that we have a daily supply right up in this area right here. Okay, now let's drop it down to the 4-hour and see exactly what we're looking at. So from the 4-hour perspective, we can see price is pretty much giving us this bullish momentum, and price came all the way back for this pullback, and we can definitely see that that's well within 50%, well within our golden zone, and it tapped into this area here. So on a smaller time frame, let's look and see if we can actually see what demand level this tapped into. We can see a demand level here, but it looks really weird. Let's go to the 3-hour, 2-hour. Okay, so we'll stick with the 1-hour. So in this area, we had a demand level here on our 1-hour. Looks really weird, but it's still a demand level. Price tapped into this level of demand, and then it came up. As we can see, price was giving us bearish momentum here. Broke, and then we got a break of structure in this area right here on GU. This is a 1-hour BOS. Okay, and so one of the things we can see is price gave us a pullback. So if we did our fibs on this from the bottom to the top, we can see we had our golden zone right in this area here. Our H4 golden zone. Go ahead and remove our fibs. We can see price came all the way up in our golden zone before it actually started to take off. Okay, and then price actually tapped into this other level of demand here. It's really small. Okay, tapped into this level of demand. And let's drop to a smaller time frame to see exactly what happened when it tapped into that area. And we can see we actually got almost like a triple bottom type situation. We got 1, 2, 3 before it actually shot off. Okay, and so if we look at this, let's see. price, it looks weird, but let's check it out. We got a high here, lower low, lower high. Had some noise here, came up a little bit more, and it came down here. Looks really, really weird. This market structure looks really weird. Okay, so we'll look at this area here as our 15-minute breaker structure. Okay. And so from there, we want to see a pullback 50% or greater. So let's move this H4 premium zone over a little bit. Let's look at a different zone now for our 15-minute. So utilizing our fibs, we pretty much follow the same principles that we always do. This is our golden zone that we want to see price come back and tap into. 15-minute. And so if we drop to like the 5-minute or something like that, let's see if we can see anything of significance. Let's drop, you know what, let's look at the 30-minute right quick. Okay, so check this out. On the 30-minute, we can see that we have quite a few things. We got a bullish, bearish, bullish, which gave us the impulse to actually break this 15-minute area here and to start continue with bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish, things like that. So for me, on this 30-minute time frame, I want to see price tap into this 30-minute demand level, because sometimes you might not see, you know, really, really good market structure or some sort of demand or you know, demand or supply on maybe just a 15 1 hour, things like that we normally go on. So don't be afraid to go to another time frame to see if you see something that looks clear to you. So for me, decided to go to the 30-minute, and as you guys can see, we have a pretty good bullish, bearish, bullish order block here. Let me notate that as well. Bullish, bearish, bullish. And I put bullish, bearish, bullish down here because these, I trade these a certain type of, I trade these a certain type of way. I don't look at these exactly how I look at just normal order blocks. And so when I put that on there, it'll give me an idea on what I'm looking for when price comes back to this area. So I want to see price tap back into this, possibly give us a breaker structure on a 1 minute, and then we can ride this up. Okay. Can you show a liquidity sweep, fake out, and how to enter? Okay, if I see one on here, I'll go ahead and go over it. Okay, but if not, I'll talk about it in our chat. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put an alert as price is starting to approach this area here. GU approaching golden zone. All right, so that's what we're looking at as far as GU. So let's go ahead and recap on this and look at the overall structure. So we can see that in this area, let's go back to it. Let's go back to the 1 hour. So we got a break of structure on the 1 hour. And price decided to turn around within our premium zone and tapped into this level of demand here. And then price gave us a break of structure on the 15. So we just want to see price tap back into this. We could possibly ride it up to this daily, or even take out these highs. Okay, so that's one of the things that we want to be patient with. and see price come back into this golden zone here, tapping into this 30-minute bullish bearish pattern. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go over to AU. And as always, you guys, like I said, if for those who missed it, if there are any pairs that you guys want to see, please put them in the chat and I'll be happy to get to them. All right, let's look at AU. So for some time, you guys, AU has been bearish, and this is a weekly pattern here. And we can see one of the things I notated was our last weekly lower high and our last weekly lower low. And so one of the things that happened with this is price wicked up to this lower low point, this lower high point, but it never broke. We had wicks and then price decided to go to the downside. Okay, but if we're looking at this from a daily perspective, within this leg of structure on the weekly, we have quite a few things that are happening on a daily. All right, so if we look at this, we can see that price was giving us bullish momentum in these areas here. Came down, gave us a look here, kind of swept some liquidity there, came all the way up to this area, all the way up here. Okay, I don't necessarily look at this point here, because if you guys can see this a little bit clearer, this is not a 2-candle pullback. This is one candle. Okay, so I'm looking at this low here, gave us an impulse all the way up to this area here. Okay, so this is a massive, huge, big leg of structure right here. And so with that being said, and understanding that, we have a break of structure on a daily in this area here, which actually coincides with our weekly, bearish trend. Because like I said, we're bearish from a weekly perspective, but now on a daily, we're getting a bearish break of structure. So now what we want to see is for price to pull back into a golden zone from the daily and then possibly go to the downside, because my ultimate bias for AU is for it to come down and take out these weekly lows. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that. All right, so what we're going to do is take out our fibs, take it from this swing high up here down to our swing low, and then we want to notate our golden zone, what we're going to be looking at for price to possibly tap into. Okay, this is our daily golden zone. All right, we want to see price tap into this area. So there are a couple of things that we can search for or see within this area, and we're going to make sure that we kind of notate and look at all of them. Okay, first thing I notice, if we're looking at all the way from the top, is we have an imbalance right here. We have a daily imbalance all the way at the top here. All right, another thing is we have a huge daily supply in this area. Okay, another thing that we can see is we have, before we get to marking up all these daily supplies, let's drop to a smaller time frame. Let's drop to the 4-hour to kind of see what we can see from this perspective first. So we notice on the 4-hour time frame, because we possibly can capitalize off these moves that we can see now. All right, one of the things that we want to do is we want to mark up the current structure that we can see on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so if we look at the high that we have, which is right here in this area here. Okay, and this is our lowest point here. Let's see. Because this can somewhat be classified as a break of structure. Because if you look at this, let's look at this market structure right quick. Let's say if we start from here, we have our high, our low, our high, and it broke this low in this area here. Not necessarily. We didn't get a body closure. Yeah, we actually did. Yeah, we actually did. So this can be considered as a break of structure, but it's still a little shaky. So I don't want to necessarily, I mean, it's valid, but I don't know. I don't know. So because of that, I'm gonna actually be patient on this, and yeah, this could be classified as a break of structure. I'm gonna put it just because it's there. I'm not gonna omit it just because I don't like the way it looks, but it definitely is a break of structure. But it's weird because we got that break of structure, which probably was a impulse, and then we got price to actually break these highs here. So nah, we're not gonna look at that like that. I'm gonna utilize that one. All right, so that one is a little weird, you guys. All right, so looking at market structure, where we are right now within the market, let's look at our retracement level. If we take our fibs out, we can see prices within our 4-hour golden zone. And one of the things I can see right off the bat is price tapped into this bullish, bearish, bullish. Well, it actually haven't tapped into it yet. This is a 4-hour bullish, bearish, bullish pattern right here. Okay. So we're already in our golden zone. So I just want to be mindful and patient of where we are, and to see if we can actually get down here and tap into this. Now, one thing that I do notice though is price, when it pushed off, it actually did get a tap right in this area here. But we can see that it's actually close to this area. So let's drop it down to a smaller time frame just to see exactly what kind of price action we have. And because price might not get down to that area. Okay. But on the 1-hour time frame, we do have one that's not mitigated. Here we have another bullish, bearish, bullish here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Bullish, bearish, bullish pattern right here that hasn't been mitigated. All right, move this over some. H1. Bullish, bearish, bullish. Okay. And so we're going to put an alert right here above this area to see when price taps into this area. AU taps H4 POI. Okay. So if price taps into this area, we can possibly look for a break of structure on a smaller time frame and possibly ride this up a little bit. Okay. Let's drop it down to the 15-minute to look at price action as well. Nothing yet. I mean, I do see a supply here, but like I said, I want to see price get a little lower. Because it's not clean market structure right now. We're kind of looking at a huge move from like here. This is your high, all the way down here. Then we got this, but it never broke this low. So right now, our high that we're looking to break is this one. So that's why I said I want to see it get a little lower. You know, it don't have to, but right now I'm looking for price to get up to this area here. And I'm gonna set an alert right here. This is our daily. Let me see, AU approaching daily golden zone. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for AU, just to see exactly what it's going to do. Another thing too, you guys, like I said, this area here is a little weird for me, which is why I want to be extremely patient on this particular pair, because being that this is weird over here, price can come down here and just, you know, just break on through and continue to the downside. So we don't want to be, you know, too over anxious to catch something that's not necessarily there. We definitely want to wait for confirmations before we hop in anything and commit to it. Okay, because if price breaks this area down here, then I'm going to be looking for it to break this area as well. And if it break this area, I'm going to be looking for sales to continue the downtrend. Okay, but that's pretty much what we're looking for right now. All right, let's go ahead and go over to let's go to gold. Let's look at gold. Okay, and then from there we'll end it off with NZD Chef. Okay, so looking at gold right now, is bullish. You know, it's bullish. If we drop to a 4-hour time frame, we actually got it turned around, because we actually got a break of structure on our 4-hour. And as you guys can see, price came down, broke structure in this area, gave us a retest, but I don't think it was 50% or greater. Let's look and see. It actually was, you guys. It came back, tapped into 50%, and then it came back down. And one of the things that I did last week, looking at this, ended the week like that. Actually, I took profit before it actually got up here, because it never hit my target, and so I caught this particular entry. And so before the market closed, I closed out of this particular trade. But let's look at price right now and see exactly what we can possibly capitalize off of with gold. Being that gold is bearish and it already tapped into that golden zone, one of the things I'm looking for is for price to possibly tap into this supply, because as you guys can see, we closed under 2,000, so I'm looking for this thing to definitely be bearish. And so this is a 15-minute supply here, and so I want to see price tap into this, give me a break of structure on a smaller time frame, like a 1 minute, and then we possibly ride this down to possibly this 4-hour demand here. We have an imbalance here that price can come down to as well. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to come down to this area. Okay. I'm gonna set an alert before it actually gets up into this area here. Gold approaching M15 supply. Uh-oh. All right, let's look at let me see something right quick. If we're looking at this from a 1-hour perspective, hold on, 4-hour, let's make sure that this is, yep, this is definitely a 4-hour demand. And so I want to see price get down here to this area. All right, that's what I want to see. Let me move this over some right here. It's looking a little junky. All And yeah, that's what I see on gold, you guys. It's not too much confusion. As you guys can see, we have, from a 1 hour perspective, we got bearish momentum on the 1 hour. You know, if price breaks this area up here, then we'll be looking to turn around and come back a little higher, but I don't think it'll do that right now. I think price wants to go a little lower, taps into this, and maybe do something a little different. But I want to see price tap into this 15-minute supply, give us a break of structure on a smaller time frame, and then dip to the downside. Okay, so gold is super simple, easy, and not too much other stuff that I'm actually looking for. All right, let's end it off with NZD Chef. This is one of, like I said, this is actually one of my favorite pairs that I like to trade now, because the market structure for this is really, really smooth and it pays well. This is the second highest paid pair out of all of the pairs, not including indices or metals or things like that. But NZD Chef, it pays really, really well and it has really, really good market structure. So if we look at this from a daily perspective, we can see that right now, it literally just, we were playing with this daily leg of structure. This was our lower high, this was our lower low in this area here, and gold has broken this daily lower low. Okay, so I want to see it get a little lower, possibly. And right now it's tapped into this 4 hour demand, and there's a couple of things that we have down here. We have an order block here that's 50% order block situation, which can possibly be a 50% order block strategy. And then we also have a 3 hour imbalance down here as well. And so I just want to be really, really patient. It tapped into this 4 hour demand, but like I said, I want to be really, really patient on this. That way we can possibly catch the move to come back up. Okay, right now I can actually move some of these, because we're looking at, this is our last lower high, and this is possibly our last lower low in this area here, because that's where price stopped. So if we drop to a 15-minute time frame, we really don't have any clean market structure in this area here. So we just want to be patient, because one of the things that we want to have happen is we want to see a 15-minute break of structure first. We don't want to look at no 5 minutes or any of that. We want the 15-minute break of structure first, and then we'll drop to like the 5 minute or the 1 minute to get a break of structure to take it in the other direction. All right, so that's pretty much what we're looking at. I'm gonna take this area here. Let's go ahead and put an alert right here to see when price actually breaks this lower low, because like I said, I want to see it go lower. NZD Chef breaks the low. 15-minute lower low. That's what we'll say. Okay, and like I said, I want to see it kind of come down to this area here, and hopefully if it come down to that area, we can see some Wyckoff accumulation or something like that to produce and possibly ride it up to the upside for maybe a 1 to 10, 1 to 8, something. But there's going to be a lot of opportunity for this particular pair. There are a couple of Wyckoff setups that I do have up in this area here that I'm waiting for price to possibly come back to. And as you guys can see, we have a really, really nice distro setup with possibly 2 entries right here. And we can possibly split the risk. You know, for example, if we were risking 1%, we can do a 0.5% on this one and a 0.5% on this one. But at any rate, you know, this is some really, really good pips that we can catch on this one. But this is something, you know, that we'll have to wait for, because right now we're extremely low down in this area here. So I'm looking for price to come down and to capitalize off of something down in this area. Okay, that's pretty much what I have, you guys. I don't see, or no one posted any other additional pairs within the chat. Mr. Bless, I do see your question about the liquidity sweep and fake out. So what I'll do, I'll look up some examples of that and see if I can find some within the market. and I'll try to post them within our Discord with really good explanation for you. All right. Hey, you guys, as always, I appreciate you guys joining me on this particular Sunday with our weekly analysis. And make sure you guys govern yourselves according to the news and things like that, according to whatever pairs that you're trading. And you guys, I hope you guys have a great trading week this week. And like I said, I appreciate you. I'll see y'all on the next one.